Hey everyone, welcome back. So apparently there's more great news for cybersecurity. Well, not really great news, but there's more news in the limelight of cybersecurity. This one has to do with SentinelOne. And of course, if you do not know what SentinelOne is, I'll just show you a list of their current competitors so you can get a general idea of what they actually do. So they're an endpoint, threat detection, agent, similar to CrowdStrike. I would say in comparison, SentinelOne is most similar to CrowdStrike as a EDR. And of course, there's a tons of other list of products here. Trilix, another one, Microsoft Defender. Actually, it has Microsoft here, and then it has Microsoft Defender. So obviously, that seems like it's a repeat. Trend Micro, McAfee. So you use some of these. If you're using one of them, you should be familiar with what it does. Okay. So, but what's the problem with SentinelOne? So I found it on the cybersecurity Reddit page. Some interesting comments, but I'll focus on the article here. So what's going on right now is that President Trump apparently does not like this gentleman right here, which is Christopher Krebs. And one of the things that was happening, I got my notes up there, is he's the executive, SentinelOne executive, targeting the cybersecurity firm for employing Chris Krebs. All right, that's how you say his name, Chris Krebs. Yes, the former head of Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which was the CISA. All right, a former head of CISA, so he has a really top position there, or at least formerly. A Republican, mind you. Remember, he's on the same team as Trump. Was dismissed by Trump in 2020 after he refuted claims of election fraud. So obviously, Chris Krebs, which we should honor, did not fall into the trap of claiming that there was any type of election fraud. All right. So basically, he denied those claims, and Trump did not like that and got rid of him. So how does this relate to what's going on with SentinelOne? Well, anyway, SentinelOne has obviously put Chris Krebs into a position of pretty senior authority. So this article actually states all that. But what's the problem right now? So one of the biggest problem was Trump on Wednesday, which was 2 days ago, ordered a cancellation of security clearance of SentinelOne. Now, if you don't know what that means, is that all vendors, anything that has anyone dealing with any type of government agencies and data, they have to get some type of clearance, and they have to be vetted. So making sure that the data is safe, and whatever they're working on, or the project that they're working on, or the infrastructure, the networking, the assets, the data, whatever it is, it has to be making sure that everyone and that's working for that company, the company itself, is liable for any type of leaking data exfiltration, or just making sure that everything is secure, everyone has a background check, and the company's good, right? It's like an insurance policy, basically. So what's going on right now? The problem that I see with this is that when Chris Krebs joined SentinelOne, and because Chris Krebs offended Trump by not agreeing with him that there was election fraud, has declined SentinelOne and canceled their security clearance, so making it impossible for SentinelOne to do any type of business with any government federal agency. That's the disappointing part. On top of that, SentinelOne is an American company. It was formed in California not too long ago. Let's look that up right now. I will pull that up. But before I do that, so Trump in November 2022 was by refusing to endorse the bogus claim that Democrat Joe Biden stole the presidential election. The move led to Trump firing him over Twitter. That's insane. So he was let go over Twitter while he was the head of CISA. All right. So let's look up SentinelOne. And when was it formed? January 1st, 2013. Sorry. So 2013, it was formed. SentinelOne, a cybersecurity software company, was founded in 2013 and is headquarters in Mountain View, California. The company has a rich history of innovation and growth, market by significant milestones and achievements. Okay. Now, I personally have never used SentinelOne, but they're also public. So they're publicly traded. So is CrowdStrike and a few other the competitors that were listed here. But right now it's at $17.58. I'm pretty surprised as of today that the stock for this particular SentinelOne is still in the positive considering what is going on right now. So obviously there is some not some great news for SentinelOne because of the losing of the security clearance, right? So what's going to happen right now is that I'm not sure if they can even fight back to get it because Trump is still the president, right? So he actually has some say in deciding those. Yeah. And he has a say in deciding what happens and who gets these security clearances. So let's scroll down a little deeper into this. In a White House memo explained the move, Trump accused Krebs, a Republican, of having suppressed conservative viewpoints. So here's the problem. Because he did not agree with Trump, he's viewed as an outsider. And because of that, he has found ways to pretty much knock him out, not be part of the game. Because right now SentinelOne is a pretty decent. I have not used SentinelOne, but as far as the namesake, its presence in the cybersecurity world is still it has some type of marketing power and people use it, right? So I'll leave it at that. I don't know what the percentage is comparing to other products out there, but this probably makes their competitors a lot more happier, right? They're putting smiles on their face because that only leads to less of a competition when one gets knocked out from having security clearance, and they'll be having a higher chance of getting into a government contract, and that's usually where a lot of those millions of dollars come in for these contracts because government federal agencies have a lot of endpoints, a lot of networking, a lot of IT infrastructure and OT infrastructure. So obviously you would love to get one of those contracts if you can. So Krebs' refusal to back Trump's false election claim made him a hero in Washington cyber circles. I don't disagree with that. Following a 2021 appearance at an information security conference, organization handed Krebs a flight jacket bearing the words "fired by tweet" because that's how he actually got fired. So here it is. Krebs' speech was followed by applause, but Reuters found little sign of industry support by Krebs or SentinelOne as they face Trump now. So what's happening right now is that no one's standing up to these guys because even competitors, right? Even if they want a fair fight and, who's the better product, if you speak up against this president, you're going to get the same treatment, which is remove your security clearance. You have no way of dealing or getting funding or any type of grants for future projects. Nobody wants that because everyone's really desperate for making money, of course, right? So I don't think it's feasible for cybersecurity companies to have a broader response on this, she said. This risk is just too high. So one of the few things, and the problem is that, one is that disagreeing or not on the same page as the president is putting you at a loss, right? Even though you feel like whatever you're saying or whatever you're thinking, or you're refuting the false claims of a fraud election, is pretty much may possibly bankrupt you. That's unfortunate, right? And of course, you have just seen what I just read, that because Trump, even though this Chris Krebs is a Republican, did not agree with Trump, and Trump still kind of treated him negatively, right? So obviously not a good thing. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. It's really sad that a California company, homebrew, and great competition between them and CrowdStrike. The problem is that if this was to happen, and SentinelOne does not take in these contracts and have more power and clients, right, to do more work, then what happens then, right? The trickle down effect is they will not make as much money, and they will probably either one, start laying off, or just not hire. So that puts the cybersecurity, job market again at a negative impact. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's these are the type of things that you have to follow up on. It's not like SentinelOne did anything wrong. It seems like the only thing that was wrong, even though it's not wrong, was placing Mr. Krebs into this position, and Trump is not in favor of him. And that's the negative impact that SentinelOne is receiving right now. So unfortunately, that's what's going on. Just wanted to share that with you. These are the type of cybersecurity highlights that I find really intriguing and interesting. And of course, if you can hit that like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Take care.